More than 40 years passed in a blink of an eye. Isaac and Rebekah, who were 60 years old, gave birth to twins. The eldest son was named Esau and the youngest son was named Jacob. When he grew up, Esau became a rough hunter and the pride of his father Isaac. Jacob was quieter and smarter and was loved by his mother Rebekah. One day, Esau came back from outside and was very hungry. Seeing that Jacob was cooking red soup, he asked Jacob for red soup. Jacob took the opportunity to use the red soup as a condition to ask Esau for the title of eldest son. Esau rashly agreed to Jacob's request because of extreme hunger. This decision confirmed God's prophecy: the older will serve the younger. However, although Jacob got the title of eldest son, he did not tell Isaac. So many years later, Isaac was ready to bless Esau. When Rebekah heard the news, she urged Jacob to pretend to be his brother. Jacob felt uneasy because he was not as hairy as Esau and his voice was different. He was afraid of being discovered by his father, but Rebekah insisted that Jacob wear Esau's clothes and wrap sheepskin around Jacob's arms to make him look like Esau with thick hair. Jacob presented the delicious food made by Rebekah to Isaac with trepidation. Although Isaac, whose eyesight was declining, was puzzled by Jacob's voice, when he touched the thick hair on Jacob's arm, he mistook Jacob for Esau and gave him the blessing. Not long after, Esau returned from hunting and learned that Isaac had given Jacob the blessing. He was filled with grief and anger and swore, "When my father dies, I will kill Jacob." Rebekah learned of Esau's oath and immediately advised Jacob to flee to her hometown and seek refuge with her brother Laban. Jacob thus began a 20-year exile life full of adventures and trials. He came to a place and it was already late, so he lay down to rest. On this night, Jacob had a sacred dream. He saw a huge ladder from the ground to the sky. Angels were going up and down the ladder, and standing on the top of the ladder was God. God promised Jacob, "I will be with you, bless you. Wherever you go, I will bring you back. I will give this land to you and your descendants." After Jacob woke up, he realized that this place was God's residence. So he erected pillars with stones and called this place Bethel, which means house of God. He made a vow: "If God blesses me, let me return to my father's house safely. Jehovah will be my God." Jacob came to his uncle Laban's house and fell in love with Laban's youngest daughter Rachel. Jacob proposed to Laban. In order to marry Rachel, he is willing to work for Laban for 7 years. Laban agreed to Jacob's proposal. Jacob worked hard for Rachel. He went out early and came back late every day, taking care of Laban's sheep, enduring the sun, rain, and cold nights. However, when 7 years passed and it was the wedding night, Laban sent his eldest daughter Leah into Jacob's tent with her face covered instead of Rachel, whom Jacob loved deeply. The next morning, when Jacob found that it was Leah who slept with him, he was shocked and angry. He immediately went to question Laban why he had broken his promise and violated the original agreement. Laban argued that in their hometown, according to custom, the eldest daughter must be married before the younger daughter can marry. He told Jacob that if he still wanted to marry Rachel, he would have to work for her for another 7 years. Although he felt deceived and hurt, Jacob's love for Rachel was unwavering. He agreed to Laban's conditions and started another 7 years of hard work. During this period, Jacob used clever pastoral methods to increase the number of sheep and accumulate wealth rapidly. Many years later, Jacob decided to return to his hometown with his wife, children, and the wealth he had accumulated. Along the way, Jacob was very afraid that Esau still harbored hatred, so he sent his servants to visit Esau with gifts. When the servants came back and told Jacob that Esau was coming to meet him with 400 followers, Jacob's fear intensified. He divided his family and belongings into 2 groups so that if one group met with an accident, the other group could escape. They were arranged in order of closeness. First, the servants and their children, then Leah and her children, and finally his beloved wife Rachel and her son Joseph at the end of the group. At night, a mysterious messenger appeared in front of him and started a fierce wrestling match with him. Jacob refused to let go even though he felt extremely tired. The wrestling lasted all night. At dawn, Jacob still persisted and said to the messenger, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The messenger finally blessed Jacob and changed his name to Israel, which means one who wrestles with God, because he had wrestled with God and people and won. This wrestling of the soul not only changed Jacob's name, but also symbolized a turning point in his life. The next day, Jacob finally met Esau. To Jacob's surprise, Esau did not come with hatred for revenge, but ran up to hug Jacob. The two burst into tears, and the rift between the brothers finally healed and the two reconciled. But the two brothers did not live together. Esau went to Seir, and Jacob went to Canaan. Obeying God's will, they multiplied there. Esau's descendants became the ancestors of the Edomites, and Jacob's descendants became the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel. This story, from the fight and deception between brothers to the final reconciliation, shows the pain and repair in human relationships. No matter how deep the hatred in the past, time and forgiveness can heal the trauma, and true love and family affection will always overcome everything.